Welcome to the BamaInsider.com post-game podcast. It's Kyle Henderson of BamaInsider.com coming to you after Alabama's 41-9 victory over Arkansas at Bryant-Denny Stadium in front of 101,000 fans. We're going to talk about the scoring summary, then talk about offensive and defensive MVPs from the game, and then we're going to finish out with Nick Saban's post-game commentary following Alabama's 7th win of the season. The game started off with a Damien Harris 75-yard touchdown run to put Alabama up 7-0 with 14:45 left in the first quarter. Andy Papanasis then made it 10-0 off a 39-yard field goal. Alabama then would go up 17-0 in the first quarter off another Damien Harris 4-yard touchdown run. In the second quarter, Jalen Hurts would score off an 11-yard touchdown run to make it 24-0 at halftime. In the third quarter, Arkansas finally got on the board as Connor Limpert hit a 30-yard field goal to make it 24-3. Alabama would answer right back when Jalen Hurts would hook up with true freshman Henry Ruggs for a 20-yard touchdown to make it 31-3. Alabama then went up 38-3 off a Najee Harris 4-yard touchdown run. With 8:55 in the fourth quarter, Andy Papanasis hit his second field goal of the game, this time from 21 yards out. Alabama led at that point 41-3, and then with 3 minutes and 3 seconds left in the game, Arkansas, Jordan Jones would catch a 3-yard touchdown pass from freshman Cole Kelly to make the final 41-9. Alabama defeats Arkansas by a final of 41-9. Now, as we look at this game, let's go over a couple key offensive stats that stand out for me when I look up at the stat sheet after this game. And I think for Alabama, it was an interesting second quarter, I would say. I mean, it didn't seem like Alabama had a lot of rhythm, but overall they finished with close to 500 yards of offense in the game, 496 passing wise. It was an interesting night for Jalen Hurts. I didn't think he did his best, but then again, he came up with some big plays, and on the night he finished 12 of 19 passing for 155 yards with 1 touchdown, threw his first interception of the season in this game, and he was sacked twice. Freshman Tua Tagovailoa came in. He was 1 for 2 passing for 33 yards. Rushing the football on the night, Damien Harris led the team with 9 carries for 125 yards, 2 touchdowns, as long as it was that 75-yard touchdown run, and his average for the game 13.9 yards per touch, which is incredible. Bo Scarborough had 7 carries for 65 yards. He had some nice runs. He had a 21-yard gain, which was his longest of the night. He also had a gain of 18 yards. Jalen Hurts, third on the team in rushing, 10 carries, 57 yards. And then Josh Jacobs, who looked very explosive tonight, 9 carries for 40 yards. And his longest was 10 yards, finished with an average of 4.3 per carry. Receiving wise, not a lot of guys in the stat sheet tonight. Calvin Ridley finished leading the team, 4 receptions for 51 yards, longest of 27. Josh Jacobs caught 2 receptions for 36 yards. Cam Sims caught 2 receptions for 20 yards. Jerry Jeudy, 1 reception for 29 yards. Special teams wise, there was a lot of special teams mistakes in this game, especially on the punt return. And Saban, basically said, guys dropped the football. Henry Ruggs dropped it twice. Trayvon Diggs dropped it once. So they're going to have to button that up. And I don't think, the special teams potential turnovers are anything you want as we go deeper into the season, especially against higher caliber competition. Defensive stats that stand out, Ronnie Harrison, he had a tremendous game. Finished with 10 tackles on the night, and I think he really continues to improve his NFL stock. There was a lot of guys in the stands tonight representing a lot of NFL teams, and I think he's one guy, when you look over the defensive roster for Alabama, that really jumps out as a guy with next level capabilities. I mean, this guy has size, he has speed, he can play pretty much everywhere in the secondary, and I think he's really starting to rise, him and Minkah Fitzpatrick. Sean Dean Hamilton had 6 tackles on the night. He actually had 1.5 sacks. Rashaan Evans, thought he played very well tonight as well. 6 tackles with 2 sacks. And then Raekwon Davis had 5 tackles as well for 1.5 sacks. Now, Alabama's defense certainly dominated in this game, only allowed 9 points. Their average coming into this game was 10.3. Held Arkansas to 15 first downs and check this out, held Arkansas to 29 carries for 27 yards. Now, coming into this game, Alabama was only allowing 73 yards per game. So, I mean, tonight, Alabama's rush defense again improves, and they're going to be number 1 in the nation in that category again in this next week once the dust settles. Passing yards, freshman Cole Kelly, he didn't do a bad job tonight. I mean, the 6'7", 270-pound quarterback was 23 of 42 passing for 200 yards with a touchdown. So give the kid credit. He's a freshman coming in to Tuscaloosa playing in front of 101,000 fans, and he didn't do too bad. And he was a load to bring down. My goodness, I saw him shake off Deron Payne and Rashaan Evans and Anthony Jennings, and those aren't small men by any means. Total offense tonight for Arkansas, 72 plays, 227 yards, and Arkansas punted 8 times on the night. They had 5 penalties for 25 yards. Alabama won the time of possession 30 minutes, 27 seconds. Third down conversions held Arkansas to 5 of 18. Alabama was 5 of 11. And in red zone scoring, Alabama continues to excel. They were 5 for 5 on the night. I think when we talk about MVPs of this game, I think without question, the offensive MVP is Damien Harris. I mean, the play of this young man over the last several weeks, I believe he now has 625 yards, if I'm not mistaken, on the season. And he's getting limited touches. And Tony Sakalas, our team writer, has a great article running right now on BamaInsider.com that really highlights his success. And what we've seen from him in terms of production is, I mean, he's certainly the best back that Alabama has. And I would like to see him get more touches. I mean, could you imagine what he would do if he was getting 20 touches per game? Tonight, he had 9 touches. 125 yards, 2 touchdowns. His longest, of course, was 75 yards. And he did this the last game, too. And his average is 13.9. So, Damien Harris really on fire. I would like to see him get the ball more, but I think that, you know, Alabama certainly has a game plan, and the game plan is to keep the running backs fresh. We saw them distribute the football to the backfield quite a few different ways tonight, with Scoreboard getting the football 7 times, Jalen Hurts carrying it 10 more times, Josh Jacobs getting it 9 times, even Najee Harris, the freshman, got a couple runs tonight as well. But it's clear that Damien Harris was the offensive MVP. When you look at the defensive side of the football, I mean, I mentioned it earlier, the play of Ronnie Harrison. I mean, he was all over the field tonight. 6 tackles of his total, which was 10, were all solo tackles. And he also made a big play right before halftime, which stopped an Arkansas touchdown, where he deflected a football, which looked to be going across the middle of the field, which probably would have been a touchdown, but he made a great play to move that game to, what was it, 24-0 at the half. So I think when you look at the offensive MVP, it's Damien Harris. On the defensive side for the MVP, it's certainly Ronnie Harrison. So what's next for Alabama? Alabama will take on Tennessee, who is 3-3 on the season. Tennessee lost to South Carolina. I believe that score was 15-9. They will play October 21st in Tuscaloosa at Bryant-Denny Stadium. Alabama has pretty much dominated that series over the last several years, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens at Tennessee, because it seems like they're going through quite a bit of turmoil with them just not winning, just not executing. And they're going to have a tall task coming into Bryant-Denny this next week to play the #1 team in the nation. And as you look at the college football landscape, and we'll talk about the college football top 5 here in a little while, but it's clear that Alabama is playing the best football in the country. Nick Saban talks a lot about consistency of performance, And Alabama has proven to be consistent through the first 7 football games of the season, moving to 7-0. And we've seen a lot of these other top teams in the nation struggle. I mean, I'm sitting here watching Washington struggle against Arizona. We saw Clemson go down. So when you look at the college football spectrum, there's still a lot of season left, but it's going to be the teams that can continue to improve. And the teams that haven't peaked quite yet are going to be the teams, obviously, who make a push. Now, I think we all know going forward, it seems like there's a collision course set for Alabama, who's undefeated at 7-0, and Georgia, who's 7-0. A lot of football in between the SEC championship game, and we're just going to have to see what shakes out. But clearly, Alabama's the best team from the SEC West. Georgia, the best team from the SEC East, at least for now. Now, as we look at the college football, let's just look at the top 5. You have Alabama, 7-0, defeating Arkansas tonight, 41-9. Clemson, who is number 2 in the nation, goes on the road and loses to Syracuse in a shocker on Friday night. Penn State, 6-0. They're ranked number 3. They were open this week. We saw Georgia. Georgia defeated Missouri. Let's bring up that football score real quick just so we can check out the final. The final on that was Georgia 53-28. So Georgia now 7-0 along with Alabama. This weekend has been filled with upsets and things you didn't expect. Even Washington right now, Pac-12 after dark, is losing to Arizona State 13-0 in the fourth quarter. TCU got to 7-0. They're probably a team that's probably going to jump up in the top 5, you got to think, after defeating Kansas State tonight. Wisconsin, a team to keep your eye on from the Big Ten, defeated Purdue. So just to recap, Alabama, the number 1 team in the nation, defeats Arkansas 41-9. Clemson loses to Syracuse. Penn State was open. Georgia moved to 7-0, defeating Missouri. Washington, that game's going to be on for a little bit longer, but they are losing to Arizona State. So it's going to be interesting to see what continues to shake out. But it looks like 2 SEC teams are going to be in the top 3 come Sunday's college football rankings. Well, I think we're going to put a close to this podcast, and I think we're going to end it with Nick Saban's comments from Alabama's victory over Arkansas. Thanks for joining us on the podcast. You can find all our content back on BamaInsider.com. My name is Kyle Henderson. You can download or subscribe to any of our past or future podcasts by simply going onto iTunes or Google Play and looking for the BamaInsider.com podcast. From Tuscaloosa, Alabama, after Alabama's 41-9 victory over Arkansas in homecoming, this is the BamaInsider.com postgame podcast with Kyle Henderson. We'll catch you soon on BamaInsider.com.
Look, I'm really pleased with, I think this was a really good team win for us. I think it was a goal to go out there and play for 4 quarters. I think it was a goal to finish the game the right way. And I think it was a goal to try to continue to create an identity for the team in terms of how they compete, everybody's commitment to discipline to execute, kind of effort and intensity we want to play with, kind of toughness we want to play with. So I was pleased with the way the players responded and did that in the game. Obviously, there's a few things to clean up. We turned the ball over a couple times on special teams, on offense. We got way too many penalties, especially there at the end of the game when we were trying to play some other players. Gave up a touchdown drive and had 3 15-yard penalties in that drive. So plenty of things to clean up, but I thought we had good balance on offense. Thought we controlled the line of scrimmage for the most part. Defensively, we did a good job against their run, forced them to be one-dimensional, and didn't do a good job on third down on their field goal drive. I think they converted 3 third down opportunities in that drive, which extended the drive, and they ended up scoring points. But all in all, there's a lot of good things out there, and we got to play a lot of players, and We're really happy about that, and it'll be a learning experience and helpful to them in their future.
I'm wondering if you could elaborate a little bit more on how the team responded. Did you see that all this week, that the team responded the way that you had hoped from the Texas A&M game?
I think we learned a lot of lessons in the Texas A&M game. I think we gradually responded, and I didn't know how the team would play today, to be honest with you. I didn't know exactly how we would do it. I think we had a little better week of practice, and so I was pleased with their effort today, and we did prepare a little bit better for this game.
What did you see from the passing game tonight? In 7 games in, have you seen the kind of progression you want out of the passing game?
Yeah, I mean, I think we need to continue to improve in that regard. I think tonight we had some play-action passes open that we weren't able to hit because we got pressure in the pocket. So it's not a matter of, I think Jalen has made some really good throws. I think he continues to make good throws. But I also think that we need to clean up the protection, the pressure in the pocket, the timing, and be a little more consistent in that regard. But I thought we made some good plays in the passing game today.
Go in the middle, Ryder.
How pleased were you with the pressure that you were able to apply to Kelly?
Well, I thought it was a real key, in the game. Him being a young quarterback, we wanted to not just let him stand there and be able to pick out people and try to play coverage all the time. So I think our guys did a pretty good job of affecting him. We lost contain a few times, which hurt us. But I think overall, I thought we did a pretty good job of getting pressure on them and creating some negative plays.
Right side for Chandler.
You had said during this week that you wanted to get some more guys involved in the offense, Najee, Josh Jacobs. How did you like how Jalen was able to spread the ball around in the passing game, and you guys were able to run with a lot of different guys?
Well, I think that we were excited for them. I want the guys to be able to play. I thought Damian had a really good game today. He had a great run to kick off the game, and I thought he made some really nice runs in the game. And Bo got going a little bit, and then we got the chance to play the other guys, and we had several receivers get involved. So I think that's good that we can spread the ball around. We're going to need more weapons in the future, and for those guys to gain confidence in what they're doing, I think is really important to us.
Back on side with Jeff Spiegel.
Nick, when you get off to a good start like you did tonight, Damian busting a 75-yard run 15 seconds into the game, what does that do as far as the positive energy for your team?
Well, I think it's huge, but I also have been in games where you do that, and then all of a sudden everybody has relief syndrome and thinks that it's going to be easy, and you kind of let up a little bit, and then you go sort of run dry for a while. So I've seen it work both ways, but I was pleased that we were able to sustain, after that and continue to play. We had a few bumps. They started pressuring us quite a bit when, I think we're ahead 24-3 or 17-3, and gave us a few negative plays. And but I think once we settled down, got back into the rhythm, we did a nice job of finishing the game in the second half.
We're here to Taryn.
What went wrong in special teams, especially with the punt returns, and how do you go about cleaning that up so there aren't any fumbles?
Well, does anybody not know what went wrong? The guy missed the ball. He missed the ball. He missed the ball. So, I like it when guys set on the ball, get their hands up by their eyes where they can see their fingertips, so they don't catch the ball low. Both balls he caught below his waist or tried to, and when the ball drops from here to there, there's a blind spot, right? And, you enhance the chances of not making a clean catch. So, I think when Trayvon Diggs missed the one that he missed, he actually took his eyes off the ball to see if he should fair catch it or return it. And I think then when he went back to the ball, he misjudged it slightly and it hit his pads. But we need to clean that up. There's no doubt about that. It should be a weapon for us. It's something that we want to. We have explosive players. We should be able to make positive yards on punt return. We want to have a first down average in terms of the field position change, with our punt return. And but the most important thing is possession of the ball. And obviously tonight that was a bit of an issue. 3 balls on the ground, we only lost 1, but we're fortunate.
In the middle with Ben.
Defensively, did you feel like you guys were kind of able to impose your will on them, particularly early on?
I'm sorry.
Defensively, do you feel like you were able to kind of impose your will on Arkansas, especially early on?
I don't really. I mean, I thought our players played well. I thought we controlled the line of scrimmage. I thought we were able to affect the quarterback. You know, the explosive play that they made right before the half that, you know, led to a field goal and maybe an or didn't lead to a field goal, but an opportunity for them to score when they got the ball down there. You know, was not good football on our part to play a coverage that allows them to hit a 50-yard pass when they're backed up and have poor field position. I think you got to make them drive it through and work a little harder than that. But you know, in the second half, I think they came out with the idea that, hey, we're not even going to try to run the ball against these guys. We're going to be in, you know, spread it out, try to throw it. And they made some plays, and we made some plays. We pressured the quarterback some, got them on the ground, sacked them, gave them some negative plays, and they made some plays. And when they moved the ball, it was because we didn't get off the field on 3rd down 3 times in a row, like I mentioned before.
Up front, right here in the middle. Got a couple more.
Coach, it looked like some adjustments were made in the second half. Were you pleased with the pass protection tonight?
Well, I thought we made some good halftime adjustments. They didn't play exactly like we thought. They pressured a lot more, especially in the second quarter when we started getting ahead in the game. So we made some adjustments at halftime that I think helped us, gave us some quick throws so that Jalen could get the ball out of his hand. And we knew that the misdirection plays, the boots would work, and we made a couple of explosive plays on boots. So I think the things that we did at halftime were very beneficial to the way they were trying to play us.
Last one in the back.
Coach, can you talk about what you've seen from Henry Ruggs when he's on offense that you've liked so far this season?
I like Henry Ruggs. You know, he's fast, he's explosive, he's got really good hands. He's going to be a great punt returner here, even though you all may kill him for, you know, missing the 2 that he missed today. I have a lot of confidence in him. I think he's a very explosive guy. He's a hard worker. He's a good teammate. He's not a selfish guy at all. He doesn't get upset when he doesn't get the ball. But he's done a pretty good job of making some plays for us as a freshman and showing a lot of maturity in doing that. And we're really pleased with his progress.